When we think about pain, our minds usually jump to something physical, right? A cut, a bruise, maybe a broken bone. But what about the kind of pain that doesn't leave any mark you can see? Today, we're going to talk about just that, the really profound and often totally invisible experience of social pain that many autistic people face. And we'll also look at how we can all work toward better understanding and support.
And this right here, this quote from someone who's lived it, it just cuts right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? It's such a raw human way of describing a feeling that's incredibly hard to put into words, but is felt so, so deeply. It really shows how social wounds can hurt far more than any physical injury.
And this isn't just an academic idea. The people in the study, they're the ones who made this distinction so clear. They talked about physical pain as something that happens to you. It's right there in the moment. But social pain, that's something that gets inside you. It's a wound that just sticks around long after the moment itself is gone. Okay, so let's really dig in here. What are we actually talking about when we say social pain? And why is it so incredibly important to understand this, especially when we're talking about autism?
So the formal researchy definition is the pain you feel from damage to your sense of social connection. But let's break that down. In plain English, it's that horrible gut punch feeling you get from being left out, rejected, or judged by others. It's the pain of feeling like you just don't belong. And get this, studies actually show that our brains can process this kind of pain in a way that's shockingly similar to physical injury. It's real. And this isn't just some vague, fuzzy feeling. Researchers have actually been able to pinpoint some very specific sources of this pain. So let's explore where it actually comes from.
So the big question is, where does this pain actually start? Well, by listening to autistic people's own experiences, the study we're looking at found it really comes from 3 different places. The first source, it's internal. It's this constant nagging feeling of being different. One person in the study said it perfectly. I look at people around me and realize I'm different. My brain works differently. I don't belong. See, this isn't about something someone else did. It's a feeling you carry inside, and it's always there. Then you've got the external stuff, and this is probably what most of us picture when we think of social pain. We're talking about the direct actions of other people, bullying, being purposefully left out of things, or being shut out by a group. One person remembered the whispering beyond my back and ridiculing, and described it as a pain that's still with them today. Now, the third source is maybe the most complicated, because it's not so black and white. It's this mutual wall of misunderstanding. It's not just one person's fault. It's a two-way street where social cues get missed. What someone means gets misinterpreted, and this invisible barrier just goes up between autistic people and their neurotypical peers. Wow. Have you ever felt like that? This quote just captures that feeling of confusion so perfectly. It's that sense that everyone else is playing a game, but you were never given the rule book. And you can imagine how frustrating and painful that would be, day in and day out. So what happens when all of these painful experiences just build up over time? Well, the result is often this really intense and deep-seated loneliness. And it's not just about being alone. It's about the huge gap between desperately wanting to connect with others and the painful reality of feeling so isolated. And this is a really, really important point because it completely shatters a common and frankly harmful stereotype. The research made it crystal clear. Most of the autistic participants had a strong desire for friendships and social connection. The problem wasn't a lack of wanting to connect. It was all the barriers that kept getting in the way. I mean, this statement just strips away all the theory and shows you the raw human cost of it all. This isn't someone choosing to be alone. This is the painful reality of isolation when connection just feels totally out of reach. It's heartbreaking. Okay, so we understand the problem. The pain is real. What's the next step? What do we do about it? Well, the pain might be personal, but the solution, that has to be societal. So let's shift gears a bit from the inside-out experience to the bigger picture and look at a national strategy designed to tackle these very issues. First off, let's just get a sense of the scale we're talking about here. According to the UK's Think Autism strategy, more than 1 in 100 people in England are autistic. So this isn't a fringe issue. It's a huge part of our community, which is exactly why a big, coordinated national response is so essential. And this is the core vision of that strategy. It's pretty powerful, right?
It's not just about, providing services. It's about changing the fundamental way society responds, moving toward real acceptance and real understanding so people can truly live their best lives.
So to make that vision a reality, the strategy laid out 15 key challenges. And just looking at a few of them here, you can immediately see how they tie back to what we've been talking about. Be accepted within the local community. Access support. These are direct answers to the sources of social pain. It's about creating a path to an independent, fulfilling life. All right, so we've got the big picture strategy. But what about right now, today? Where can people actually turn for help? Let's get practical and look at the real actionable steps people can take to bridge that gap from isolation to connection. The NHS lays out a pretty clear path here. It starts with the people closest to you, friends and family. Then it expands out to national charities, finding local peer groups where you can connect with people who just get it, and then accessing professional help through your GP and local counsel. Each of these steps is like opening a new door to feeling understood and supported. And here's where it all comes together. The research on social pain found that these were the key coping strategies that autistic people themselves found most effective. And look at them. They line up almost perfectly with the support pathways we just saw. Asking for help, and especially connecting with the autistic community, these aren't just nice ideas. They're proven, evidence-based ways to navigate social pain and find that sense of belonging. So, at the end of the day, understanding social pain isn't just about spotting a problem. It's a call to action for all of us. It really pushes us to think about our own part to play, as individuals, as friends, as members of a community, in building a world where that feeling of belonging isn't the exception, but the rule. A world where everyone truly feels they belong.